Folks, I don't know if you saw the news, but it looks like OpenAI is dropping $6.5 billion to buy Johnny Ives' firm. Yes, Johnny Ives of Apple fame. What does OpenAI see? What kind of physical devices might be coming from this partnership? But more importantly, why does a company like OpenAI decide to drop $6.5 billion instead of doing it themselves, aka the innovator's dilemma? We're going to have this conversation with Dana Dunford from Hemlane. How you doing, Dana?
Great. Thanks so much for having me again. It's a topic I hold near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. As a CEO, as somebody leading the charge, what does it really take to look at doing an acquisition, a bolt-on, somebody you're going to fold in, maybe somebody that's going to take you into a new profit stream? Why would somebody drop such a big bag on somebody
Yeah.
else's dream?
One, I think innovation is really hard to do internally the larger you get. And you see this actually with large companies of why do they eventually fail with this disruptive technology that comes out. And it has to do a lot with investors and what others are valuing you at and where you are in your life cycle. So the larger you get, the harder it is to innovate. And the
Sure.
reason is you constantly go after profitability or
Mhm.
growth on what you have, and you actually can't basically cannibalize what you have because you're too worried to do that. Apple and Johnny Ives are two people, and Johnny ran design at Apple. There, he comes from a culture where it's actually almost okay to completely take out what you have currently and start from scratch. And that's just
Yep.
part of the Apple culture. And some examples of that were the iPad. There were a lot of other hardware companies that were in the computer space who said, we don't want to launch something like an iPad because it's going to all the lower end computer sales of laptops and stuff, it's going to completely cannibalize that, and
Mhm.
our sales per unit sold are going to go down. Well, Apple is very much of like, let's just go where the market's going, and that is, no longer having an iPod. Now music is still in your pocket, but it's on your phone, and almost disrupting the products they have.
Yeah.
And it's very rare to find and retain talent that believes in that type of culture and to think so far outside of the box. What I'm most excited about is we actually haven't seen a lot of disruption in the hardware space for phone technology. Apple stock dropped after this. For phone technology, for devices, it's always been, hey, there's Apple, and then there's kind of Google with the Android. And what's really cool about this is you have a new player suddenly in the space thinking about AI first when they come out with hardware and devices. And that is something I think is really powerful. It takes a lot of design thinking and innovation, and I'm excited to see where they go with that.
Yeah, when you look at OpenAI's business, what I see them doing, again, completely as an outsider, when I look at their revenue model, think about their marketing team, product team, sales teams, they're all going to be kind of SaaS based, right? They're going to go after
Mm-hmm.
individual consumers, right? B2C, but really going to try to, do enterprise sales. I can see their sales structure in my head already, right? The whole enterprise sales, east, west, central, public sector, all that, all the stuff that I've done. But what this acquisition does with Johnny Ives is it creates a brand new revenue stream, right?
Yeah.
The physical devices. And if Johnny Ives has proven anything in his Apple legacy, and he has a great book, if you guys haven't read it, I think it was out well over a decade ago. I read it way back when. It's going to be interesting to see where that guy's creativity goes, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if history shows, he and OpenAI will be releasing something that the market didn't know it wanted, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Right. That's the magic of Johnny Ives. Is it's Steve Jobs was the showman. He was always the one more thing, and hey, it fits in your pocket, and it does this, it does that, right? I remember those very well. But it was Johnny Ives' vision, with
Mm-hmm.
help from Jobs, kind of pushing the envelope as he was so known to do. But it's going to be just wild to me to think about AI, which today is bots and services and all of these things that kind of bolt on. And I couldn't have, I fundamentally can't imagine an AI first, AI enabled physical device. And that's probably pretty cool because I know Johnny Ives can. And
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see where this goes.
And what I'm most excited about is if you think about historically, and I don't know what this is they're coming out with. If I did, I probably wouldn't even be able to share it. But
Yeah.
um, what was really cool was everyone remember the Blackberries, and we had to have our fingers and punch the
Oh,
buttons, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this company Apple is not doing that. They're going to fail." And
yeah.
what happened was it actually was so much better not to have the little punch buttons with the entire keyboard. It was better to have the Apple one.
I fought that for years. I was one of the
Me
last.
too. Yeah.
I fought it. Yeah.
You thought you needed to have the full keypad pad and you really didn't. And so what I'm excited about here is like they might even take away the whole concept of having to type anything. Like who
Yeah.
knows? But you can almost reimagine and redesign everything for the future just based on AI. The amount of innovation that's happened in the past year has been phenomenal with AI. And so it's going to be crazy. You see these AI agents that have emotion now. And so it's going to be really cool to see where they take it.
Well, it's going to be really fun because again, these is I'm just thinking about this, riffing with you in real time. Think about an AI enabled device that just knows you. And what I mean by that is like if you walk around my house, I have all of these other enabled technology hooking up to Wi-Fi and the internet and all
Mhm.
of that. It could just know all of that. It could just follow me around when I enter a room. It could turn on the lights without me having to do things, right? It could set, it's just right. It integrates seamlessly with your phone or with your car,
Mhm.
excuse me, and it knows your music taste. I mean, it's just if you think about what AI really could do inside a device, it really could just be this physical cube or stick or whatever you want that sits in your pocket and then just interacts with all the
Mhm.
other stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be fun to watch what Johnny Ives and OpenAI do because this $6.5 billion was not done lightly. They clearly have a vision for something.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what I love about disruptive technologies is it almost takes starting from scratch in a totally different company, which was part of the reason I believe Johnny left Apple was to have that time and
Sure.
that bandwidth to actually just think about it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where they take it. I see a lot of parallels in real estate because a lot of the players, even in our space that we see, it's like they just keep tacking on more fees for everyone. And
Yeah.
there's not this innovation. And that's why I'm so excited about AI, even in property management, because you get completely new models, completely new ways of doing things at substantially lower cost to the end consumer, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say about this acquisition, it making a big splash in product roadmaps clearly being worked on, between Johnny and OpenAI's team is it's going to force Apple, Google, and Microsoft, Amazon, all these. It's going to force them to react. I guarantee you, there were emergency meetings at all of these firms trying to figure out what's going to happen, and sometimes distracting your competitor is a good thing.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
that's going to force a change as well.
Yeah. And what I think it's a reminder of, and like the key takeaway is don't focus on your competition because that's not what Johnny was doing. He wasn't trying to like rebuild
No,
another iPhone. It is focus on innovating and thinking completely outside of the box and launching something entirely new and almost pushing the boundaries of what you can do. And that's what makes cool, disruptive, innovative technology that end consumers love.
love this conversation, Dana. You're amazing. CEO of Himlane. If somebody want to come out, try it, advertise for free, use the free, pay for it. What do they got? Where do they go?
Yeah, you can go to Hemlane, HEMLANE.com. We have everything from free plans to find and place tenants and do your accounting, all the way to 24/7 repair coordination and tons of other managed services for you. Just mention one rental at a time because you do get our highest discount, which is 20% off your first year.
And don't forget, if you're just looking to be a landlord in a new area, maybe you're looking at a state, don't sleep on the resources tab. Go to himlane.com/resources. They do an amazing job. Whoever runs that team is amazing, keeping up to date with all the changes across the country. Dana, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy your week.
Great. Thanks.
Bye.